Hello and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, if you've got the book, My Very First Winnie the Pooh, Happy New Year, Pooh book, go get it so that you can follow along. And boys and girls, how many of you like Pooh? I love Winnie the Pooh books. And Winnie the Pooh, he's one of my favorites. And this one is very special because something's going to happen. And it's about to be Happy New Year. Well, what does that mean? Well, Pooh gets scared to death. Maybe you might get scared. It's a Disney, My Very First Winnie the Pooh, Happy New Year, Pooh. The author is Kathleen W. Zoehfeld. The illustrator is Robin Cuddy. Happy New Year, Pooh. December 31st, said Pooh. Time to turn the page of my calendar. Pooh lifted the December page. He scratched behind his ear. No more pages. No more months, cried Piglet. That's terrible. Oh, Pooh's calendar is just broken, said Tigger. Let's go look at mine. Tigger's calendars are never broken. So they're headed to go look at Tigger's. Tigger bounced to his house, like Tigger does, and flipped up the December page. He gasped. His tail drooped. No more months? It's true. What are we going to do? We could make a poem to say goodbye to the months, said Pooh. It's too sad, said Piglet. I can't think of anything to say. You can't think of a poem, really? Said Pooh. It just has to come to you. He sat down and looked at his paws. At last, he looked up and said, Goodbye, January, with snow and frost. Oh, dear, said Piglet. Our whole year is lost. That's good, said Pooh. It rhymes very nicely. Pooh continued, No more February Valentine sweets. Goodbye, March, with winds and sleets. Sleets? asked Tigger. Well, you try, said Pooh. Tiggers don't do poetry, said Tigger. Tiggers can do Tigger poetry, said Pooh. So Tigger began, I'll miss April's dripping rains and May's crazy daisy chains. Did I rhyme it enough? asked Tigger. Yes, said Pooh. You rhymed enough. This is fun, said Tigger. I'm feeling sadder and sadder, said Piglet. He wiped a tear from his cheek. "You try," said Pooh. "There's nothing like a bit of poetry to make you feel better." "I'll miss June," sniffed Piglet, "when the wood was green, and sniff all the Julys that might have been." "Been what?" asked Tigger. "Well, warm and picnicky," said Piglet. Smiled Tigger. They sat quietly for a while. Then Pooh brightened. "I think the rest of the poem has come to me," he said. "Goodbye, August, hot and lazy. Farewell, September, cool and hazy. October's colors, we'll always remember. And the pumpkin pies of chill November. To December, farewell. We'll miss your cheer, our favorite month of all the year." "We don't have to say goodbye to December," said Tigger. "We are stuck here forever." "Oh, yes," said Pooh. "I forgot. Forever," sighed Piglet. "Toot, toot, ring-a-ling-ling, bang-a-dang-bang." Piglet, Pooh, and Tigger heard these strange sounds coming from Rabbit's house. "Maybe Rabbit's in trouble," cried Tigger. "Let's go." Rabbit's house was filled with balloons and colorful streamers. Toot, toot! Eeyore was trumpeting on a little horn. Ring-a-ling-ling! Rabbit was ringing a bell. Bangity-bang! Christopher Robin was drumming on a pot with a wooden spoon, while Kangaroo and Owl looked on cheerfully. They're having a party, aren't they? Haven't got that balloon tied to his tail, Eeyore's. "I wonder why they're so happy," whispered Pooh. "They haven't heard the sad news," whispered Piglet. "Well, it's our bounding duty to tell them," said Tigger. He bounced over to Rabbit's calendar and lifted the December page. "I'm sorry to spoil the festivities," he said, "but we seem to have a big problem. There will be no more months in the 100-acre wood," said Pooh. Piglet wiped another tear. "Well, I suppose it's to be expected," said Eeyore. "Gaiety, song, and dance. It doesn't work for everyone, you know." "Don't worry, Eeyore," said Christopher Robin. "Of course there will be more months." "There will?" asked Pooh. Christopher Robin handed Pooh a pot. "Come on, help us ring in the new year," he cried. "New year?" asked Pooh. "You mean we have a whole new year ahead of us?" "Yes, Christopher Robin," said Christopher Robin. "With a new year And a new February? Asked Pooh. And a whole new March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December? Cried Tigger. Yes, said Christopher Robin. And look, I've got new calendars for each of you. He handed him my calendar. Wow, said Pooh. They're beautiful. They're fantabulous, cried Tigger. This is so great. We should have a party to celebrate. That's exactly what we're doing, said Rabbit. He gave Tigger a horn. There, now, no more moping around. We've got to welcome in the happy new year with a happy noise. Piglet smiled quietly. He thought about the picnics and pumpkin pies he'd be sharing with his friends in the new year. It's a very friendly thing to say goodbye to the old year and welcome in the new one with your friends, he said. Yes, said Pooh, giving Piglet a little hug. That's just the way it should be. And they're ringing in the new year. Did you think after December the 31st, there's no more months? There would be no more days. Made sense to Pooh, didn't it? His calendar was over. But then we start happy next year, and we celebrate, and we bring in the new year. So perhaps it's 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. I hope you have a happy New Year celebration, and tell me about what you're going to do to bring in the new year. And what, if you want to, you can tell me what you want to forget about this past year. Okay? Sounds fun, doesn't it? All right. How are you bringing in the new year? With family and friends or asleep? I'll probably be asleep. I can't wait to see what you say you do to bring in the new year. Share with me on Cindy's Corner, and don't forget to share me with your friends. So that will be a great new year for me, for you to share and have more subscribers to join in with Storytime with Cindy. Give somebody a hug and tell them you love them. Start the new year off right.